morning.
Right. Good morning, everyone. So glad you're here today. We are going to have so much fun today. We're going to be glazing with a different type of glaze called underglazes. Underglazes are a little bit different from the glazes we used yesterday. The main difference is that underglazes don't have any of the mineral in it that makes it turn into glass. So it won't have like a glassy surface like our glazes do. And so we have to put like a clear coat over the top of it. But you guys don't have to worry about that part. But the fun thing about underglazes is that you can put it on wet clay or you can put it on clay that has been fired. And you can do a lot of different techniques with underglazes. You are able to draw more with underglazes because they don't run as much as a regular glaze. Like you can paint fine details and it will stay that way. Whereas if you painted that with a glaze, it might spread or run a little bit. And underglazes have bright, vivid colors. They're super fun to work with. So we're actually going to be working with underglazes for the next 2 days. And today we're going to be learning some techniques called sgraffito and mishima. And those are going to be so fun. I'll show you some examples of what we're going to be doing. And I don't know if you can see this image very well, but all these lines have been carved into the clay, like they drew into the clay. And then they put glaze on the inside where they took out the clay. And so it's really cool effect. And then this one as well. So you can you can draw some really intricate things. Like this one, they probably did, this one's sgraffito, so they probably put a glaze over all of it and then scraped away to create the white. And then this one is also sgraffito. So they just scraped away that glaze wherever they didn't want glaze and they kind of drew something at the same time. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing and I'll show you first. Was everyone able to make some other hard pieces?
Yeah.
Yeah? Awesome. Everyone's got like 1 or 2 at least.
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Good job, Joaquin. Good job, everyone. I'm so impressed that you guys did it. Okay. So I made a flat one. Oh, wow. Look at that, Madeline. That is awesome. That's going to be so much fun to work on today. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do each one first. And then you can decide which one you want to do and work on your own. So your leather hard clay, you can see it's not super droopy. Like it holds its shape really well. It feels like leather. So that's kind of what we're looking for. It's okay if it's not as hard as this, and it's okay if it's a little drier than this. But this level of dryness helps us to carve really accurately. Okay, so I'm going to choose a color. I'm going to go with purple. And today our underglazes are all the ones with stars on them. So all the ones with the star on them are your underglazes. And you'll notice that your underglazes are a little more liquidy than your glazes yesterday, or more runny. And I meant to tell you this yesterday, but before you start glazing, you should always shake up your bottles. So you guys can go ahead and do that now and shake up all your glazes. Because they kind of settle, since they're made with lots of minerals, they kind of settle. And then you'll get an even color. Okay. While you're doing that, what was that, Ben? Do you need the wax? No, you don't need the wax today. That will be another day. So the things you do need is your clay, the pieces that you made yesterday. You'll need a paintbrush and your underglazes and probably some water to wash out your brush if you want a new color. And then I'm also going to be using some tools to carve out of. So my needle tool. I think you guys have one of these tools in your little kit. It's squared on one end and rounded on the other. And then you also have one of these. And then you can use like this tip end of this tool. So you can decide which one you want to use once we get to that point. And each one is going to give a different line. Okay, so with this underglaze, you can see right here, I put down some purple. And I went left to right, side to side. And I'm going to let that dry a little bit before I put my other coat on. So we're going to do 2 coats with this. And then the second coat, I'm going to do top to bottom.
Yes.
Yes.
We have a special visitor with us today. Our cousin Iris came to visit, and she's glazing.
Hi, how are you? I'm so glad you joined us for our class today. How old is she?
She's 2, actually.
She's 2. Oh, she's cute. I have a 2-year-old as well. So fun. The fun age. That's awesome you have her with you. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry for a minute. Okay, and then this is going to be for our sgraffito. So for sgraffito, you'll cover your whole piece in a color and let it dry and then paint a second coat in the same color. While that's drying, I'm going to show you, I'm going to start my mishima, which is also called inlay. So I'm going to draw something. What should I draw? What do you guys want me to draw?
You could draw a heart.
A heart? That sounds good. Okay, I'll draw a heart. Okay, so as I draw, I'm kind of taking out bits of clay, and I get little bits of clay on my tool, and I'm just going to, every once in a while, just take off that clay so it doesn't get back into the little groove that I'm drawing. And if some gets on the edge, you can just wipe it off. So you get a really nice, clean carving. Maybe I'll do some little lines going out. I'm just carving and taking out the bits of clay off my tool.
Whenever I paint, whenever I try to paint, it kind of still shows a lot of gray.
Yeah, that's okay. But for now, I'm just going to show you 3 different things, and then you can choose which one you want to do, Sam.
Oh.
So you may not want to start quite yet.
No.
Okay, so you guys can see that I carved out this little heart, and you can see that inside my grooves, there's no little crumblies of clay. It's really clean. And I could even like smooth some area, like edges.
You gotta paint
That might be hard. And then I can go over them again with my tool to make them clean again. Okay. So with an inlay, you're going to carve first, and then you're going to put your glaze over it. So for this one, I'll do red. I shake up my glaze real good. And I'm kind of using a flat brush that's a little bit bigger because it'll help drag the glaze further. Okay. Now I'm going to paint my glaze over this area. And the glaze is going to start to fill in all those little grooves that I painted. I don't want too much glaze, but I want enough to where the glaze on the inside of my grooves is kind of level with my clay. Okay. And I'm going to let that dry. And then while that's drying, I'm going to show you my sgraffito over here. Okay, what should I draw in this one? Madeline, what should I draw? A flower? Okay, I'll draw a flower. So, same thing as with our inlay, we're going to carve out, and we want to make sure our grooves are nice and clean. And if there's any crumblies, we can kind of carefully get those off.
It's gonna wash off. It's gonna wash off. It's okay.
You have to be a little more careful with sgraffito because you don't want to wipe your glaze off either.
Do you wanna stop?
If you get some crumblies around the edge, carefully remove it. Okay, so you can see that I carved out a little flower. And I can also use other tools to get finer lines, like I can use this needle tool. And I can even make little poke holes. I can really start to draw like finer details. Maybe you guys can see that. All right. So that is sgraffito. So you're going to lay down a color, let it dry, and you can start carving a design into it. Okay, I'm going to show you one more technique. So this is called a layered sgraffito.
And then the other one you can do the same thing.
And with layered sgraffito, I'm going to lay down several layers of different colors. I'm going to try and do 2 layers of each color. So my first layer, I went side to side, and my second layer, I'm going to go up and down. And when I do that, I'm going to want to let each layer dry before putting on the next layer, which might take a little longer. Remember yesterday when we were glazing and the glaze kind of like the clay like sucked up the glaze and it dried almost instantly. This is going to take a little bit longer to dry between coats. But with this layered sgraffito, I'm going to paint like several colors, and then I'm going to carve into it with like one of these tools to kind of give an angle, and you're going to be able to see all those different colors that I glazed. So you guys can go ahead and start glazing your pieces and deciding what you want to do on your piece while this is drying and waiting for it.
Do you want to? Don't push too hard. Do you need your other tool?
So our inlay isn't done yet either, but I'm just waiting for the glaze to dry a little bit more. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a sponge and take off the glaze that's on the top. And the only glaze that will be left is the glaze that's in those grooves. So it'll be more like this one where the glaze is inside those little groove lines that we drew. All right, and I wanted to show you guys some examples of some other works to give you some inspiration. This is Inlay, or Mishima. So they drew all these little motifs first, and then they covered it with their glaze, and they went back and wiped it off, and what was left was inside what they drew. So you can draw some really pretty flowers and stems and leaves. And then this is sgraffito. And they probably just went back over these areas and painted on top.
I guess so.
You can paint and then just do sgraffito in certain areas like this one. It's kind of hard to see. And then this is also sgraffito, where they probably covered the whole cup in blue and then just scraped away the glaze and left the little whales and the little waves. So you can decide whatever you want to draw, and you're just going to be drawing it with your carving. And it makes a really cool effect.
I'm done.
You're done? What did you do? I want to see it. Awesome. Did you do sgraffito?
No, you can.
You what?
I didn't really want to.
You didn't want to do the sgraffito?
Yeah.
This one will be there.
That's fine too. If you don't want to carve into it and draw, that's fine. You can just
You can
put
get
it
another.
places.
And
Also,
Can I try something else next?
a regular flower.
yeah, if you made more than one piece, you're welcome to paint all the little pieces you made yesterday that are wet. And then you do have those little hearts that you can paint, and you could even underglaze on those.
Okay.
You can use underglaze on any paint.
Did we glaze something else that we already did?
Yeah. So you can if you made some other pieces yesterday, you're welcome to glaze those, or those hearts. You could glaze something else that you did, but we will also be learning more techniques later on in the week. So I want to make sure that you guys have enough pieces to paint and try out other techniques.
All right.
Did I erase it?
Tomorrow we'll be painting our underglazes on top of something that's already been fired. So today we're doing underglazes on something that hasn't been fired. Do you have another piece, Carolina, that made?
This is one piece.
Okay, perfect. I'm about to glaze that piece. And with underglazes, it's good to have 2 layers. So your other piece, I don't know if you were able to paint 2 layers on it or not. I'm gonna go get my sponge because I forgot it.
Daisies.
I'm supposed to learn this thing first. Look, you go home.
And the other thing about underglazes is you can mix them too, just like we did yesterday. But you do also have a lot more color options with your underglazes than you did with your other glazes.
Hey, Jazz.
Yes.
Wait until later today to put down my second coat because
Yeah, they're taking a while to dry, and you could get a blow dryer and blow dry it to make it dry faster if you wanted.
Yeah, like she
Or you can just wait too.
like the purple one.
Yeah, they are taking a long time to dry, huh? Especially this red. The purple didn't take very long to dry, but the red color is taking longer. So it might also depend on the color.
Maybe do some quests into the colors. You have a look here.
Okay, you can see I'm going to start to try to do our inlay. So I just get a sponge and I get it wet, but then I squeeze out most of the water. So it's not very wet. And then I'm going to lightly rub on the surface. And I don't want to rub too much because then it will rub the clay into the grooves. So I'm just going to do one pass and then I'm going to rinse it out and squeeze out all that color. And I'm squeezing out my sponge all the way each time. Okay, you can see what I'm left with. Hold it up. So you can see that the glaze is left inside the grooves, but not on top of the piece. You guys see that? The inlay. So that's really cool. That was the inlay that I just painted all over that, and then I just wiped off the top. And then the glaze is left in the grooves.
This is my layered sculpture.
Oh, nice. Love it. Are you going to do some inlay on that?
Yeah.
Perfect.
What about you?
That is going to be great.
Yeah. I'm ready for Friday. Well, I mean Thursday, because we're not here Friday.
Today is our big day, huh? But Friday's going to be super fun too.
I know, right? We'll get a 3 day week.
Friday's a great day.
I know. Yeah.
I'm going to wait a little longer.
I know. I'm just so upset because I have to schedule my wedding. My wedding was supposed to be in April, and then it got pushed back because of COVID. So that week that I was gonna go on my bachelor for Vegas in March, the last in March, and they closed down that much before we were supposed to leave. So I didn't make that bachelorette party nor my wedding. So we rescheduled it for July, and now this is happening again. So I don't even know if that's next. Yeah. 31st.
Iris also makes the layered sculpture
I
sheet.
know, so I'm like, if everything's gonna be closing down again.
What was that thing?
Please, like a layered sculpture. Left most of it.
You did the layered sgraffito?
Probably won't happen again. So I'm just over it.
I can't hear. Someone's
Yeah,
on the
Josh.
phone background.
Yeah.
And I-
My mom.
Is that your mom, Madeline? Yeah, just mute yours for just a minute.
My cousin Iris did this layered sculpture.
Oh, awesome. That was her.
Back.
Iris. Iris is my favorite
Yeah.
flower.
So we'll see. It's all that matters, yeah. Now with everything going on, that's true.
And the nice thing about this is if you draw something that you don't like, you can just go over it with your finger and erase it. Start over again. If you're doing the inlay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the call. For for those surgery reports that you do, is different reports that you send out? Oh, okay.
How's everyone doing? You guys doing good?
I look at it, you know, for it. You know, today, like, what?
Yes.
Us to rush the report to see what the pendings are.
Yes, Sam?
I finished mine, and later today I'm gonna put a second coat on it.
Okay, perfect. That sounds great.
Whoever works at, you know, oh. Oh, okay.
Did you carve into it, or are you waiting to carve into it?
I carved a little bit into it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're welcome to glaze another one of those hearts. We gave you those hearts so you would have extra things to work on. You doing all right, Crocker and Sawyer? Oh, look at that, Madeline. I love it. That is beautiful.
Can you read this? Carolina's not done yet, but me and Sam are both gonna wait for them to dry and then add a second coat later.
Okay. That sounds good. What color did you guys try?
I tried the blue for a pot.
Awesome. What about you, Sam? Did you do blue as well?
We did a bunch of different.
A bunch of different colors. Awesome. That's fun. Yeah, you can definitely combine colors.
Ooh, just there. What? She didn't say anything.
How you doing, Marilyn? Well, that looks beautiful. Very, very beautiful.
Hello. Yeah, I can try it.
I'm going to be doing some inlay, carving just some wavy
Yes.
lines.
Do you want to say? The epic, is it epic? No. Okay. So this one. Screen tip. Oh, wait, which one is it? Okay.
How you doing, Joaquin? Okay.
Good.
Is this
Good. You guys let me know if you have any questions or help you need help with anything.
Okay.
No. I still like, okay, I already see, okay. Do I have to, no, load up, okay. Okay, that's the same thing for the paint before I usually do load up. Do we select all? So, okay. So, and then I usually do like select all, and then I'll go to options and go to file. Okay. Open. Okay. Okay, let me try it and see.
Spellmans, are you working on anything new?
Yes.
I'm adding more lines to my.
Awesome.
Okay. Needs to delete everything, right? Uh-huh.
So tomorrow I'll finish this layered sgraffito to show you guys. Since each layer is going to take a while to dry. These underglazes are a lot more liquidy or.
Can I paint this?
Tomorrow, that would be a great thing to paint. So tomorrow we're going to use one of our bisque fired pieces. Okay. And we're still going to use our underglaze. So you're going to need your white regular glaze that doesn't have a star on it. And you're going to need your underglazes. And you're going to need one of those little bottles that has the star on it. Or, yeah, either one probably would be fine. So, I also wanted to let you know that you should probably cover your glazes and working with them.
Here to research.
Beautiful, Madeline. Love it so much. It's so beautiful. And so, yeah, cover your glazes with your lids so they don't dry up, and wash out your brushes when you're all done.
Oh, so it's two. So first is the primary
And
one.
then these pieces you can just let dry completely, and the underglaze will dry with them, and then you're done. All right. And yeah, I think I'll let you guys go for today, and then tomorrow we will learn more. A different okay.
Yeah, we're gonna do movement.
Hey everybody. I can't wait to see all the underglaze techniques that you guys used today. I can't wait to see them all fired. They're gonna look so cool.
Yeah, they are.
This is the heart that I didn't make for.
You paint and stuff.
I love it. Okay, everybody, we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye.
Hey, have a great day.